Good afternoon and welcome to Solent Sports News. I'm Dan Hawkins and this is your 4:30 Bulletin. West Brom forward Jay Rodriguez has informed the FA that he will contest a charge of racism against him. This comes after Cameroon defender Gaëtan Bong claims he was subject to racist language from Rodriguez during a Premier League game at the Hawthorns in January. The former Saints player has said he is gutted and in disbelief that the accusation has been levelled against him. In response to negative fan reaction to Arsenal's recent slump, Arsene Wenger has said, "It's not the person they hate the manager who doesn't deliver the performance." The Frenchman said he is suffering like everyone else, but Arsenal is 30 million people. It's not the suffering of one person. You want to make 30 million people happy and that's what you care about. The Gunners will take on Watford this Sunday at the Emirates. In Formula 1, McLaren have suffered yet another reliability setback on the final day of winter testing after the MCL-3 broke down on track again in this morning's session. Ferrari have enjoyed a better testing period, with Sebastian Vettel signing off from Formula 1's pre-season testing yesterday with the fastest lap yet around Barcelona's circuit to Catalunya. Anticipation is now starting to build ahead of the 2018 Formula 1 season, with the first race in Australia less than 2 weeks away. The 2018 F1 calendar will boast 21 races thanks to the return of the Grand Prix in France and Germany. This year's French Grand Prix will be the first since 2008 and see the return of the circuit Paul Ricard, which last hosted the French Grand Prix in 1990. In tennis, Serena Williams has won her first singles tennis match on the WTA Tour for nearly 14 months as she returned after the birth of her child. She beat Kazakhstan's Zarina Diyar 7-5, 6-3. Due to serious post-childbirth health complications, including blood clots in her lungs, she missed this year's Australian Open in January, not considering herself ready for the tournament. Williams admitted her return was not easy.
No, it definitely wasn't easy. I've played her several times before, and we always have a couple tight sets. But it was good. I'm a little rusty.
From a former world number one to a current one, Roger Federer is happy to be back on top of the men's rankings. He is currently playing in the Indian Wells Masters and has been reflecting on the effort it's taken to reach the top.
Just the feeling of getting back to world number one, is deeply gratifying because today, when you're older, you know how much work you've put into it,
Now to the rugby this weekend. Wales have made 10 changes to the side that lost to Ireland 2 weeks ago ahead of their tie against Italy in Cardiff. The Italians enter the fixture losing their last 15 games in the tournament. Ireland will play Scotland at the Aviva Stadium with the Scots without an away win in the tournament since 2010, but they will be buoyant after beating England. England head coach Eddie Jones has decided to stick with the same back row that faced Scotland in their last outing as they head to the Stade de France tomorrow. France will be boosted by the return to form of Mathieu Bastaro, who returned from a 3-week ban in their win over Italy. On to horse racing now, and the wait is nearly over for one of sport's biggest events of the year, with the Cheltenham Festival just 4 days away. It's that time of year again when horse racing punters nationwide begin to sharpen their focus as the jump racing season reaches the business end. Cheltenham is a 4-day feast of racing, starting at 1:30 on Tuesday and then shortly after 5:30 on the Friday the 16th of March. The biggest race is the Gold Cup, which takes place on the Friday, and with last year's winner Sizing John being ruled out with a hairline fracture, Might Bite has been hardened into an even stronger favourite. Might Bite, trained by Nicky Henderson, has a more than impressive record, including victory in the King George Chase at Kempton on Boxing Day.
Two-red King George, big leap over it, second place for T for 2, double shuffle between the pair, Might Bite in front by only a length, double shuffle trying to get to him now, Might Bite in front and he's just won the 32.
Four-time Tour de France champion Chris Froome says he completely backs Team Sky principal Sir Dave Brailsford. This comes after Team Sky was accused of crossing the ethical line by using drugs to enhance the performance of riders, instead of for solely medical need. Sir Bradley Wiggins has come under pressure after it was said he took drugs allowed for his hay fever for performance enhancing purposes. Wiggins and Sky have denied the allegations. Is futsal a viable career choice for someone in the UK, or is it just a stepping stone into football? Jacob Potter went to Winchester University to find out.
Iniesta tees up Messi! Pelé has scored!
Cristiano Ronaldo, fans on the edge of their seats. Ronaldo!
With the likes of Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo and Pelé all starting their footballing careers playing futsal, how likely are we to see the sport grow in the UK? We're here at the University of Winchester to see if there's a pathway into a career in futsal or whether it's just a step up to football. Chris Ballard set up the Futsal Society 2 years ago and is chairman of the side at Winchester University and has seen the popularity of the sport grow ever since. The Hampshire-based university now have teams that compete regularly in both the Solent League and the Bucks League. Ballard admitted that the futsal team can provide a good opportunity to people who struggle to get into the university football team, where places in the squad are limited due to the large number of players.
I think that futsal is a really good developing ground because it also teaches discipline going into 11-a-side, whereas we've got a lot of players who play football now that are, even though they're really good, they feel that futsal allows them to be a bit more creative because they've only got so limited time to do what they need to do.
Ballard's comments are echoed by Matteo De Luigi, who has been a regular in the Winchester Dragons side after failing to make the cut in the football trials at the university.
Came in Winchester and wanted to keep training football, so I tried with the football trials with no chance, and they told me about futsal trials and they said, yeah, why not, let's try, let's play.
The futsal captain also outlined the advantages of playing futsal compared to some of the ill-tempered matches that regularly occur across the UK in football.
It helps you out with like the technical side of getting in position, receiving pass, and obviously you got the skills that these players have, like Messi with dribbling, Ronaldo with step overs, and all the other skills. But I think that futsal is a really good developing ground because it also teaches discipline going into 11-a-side.
Although De Luigi has enjoyed his experience of playing futsal in England, he is planning to play 11-a-side football when he returns to his native Switzerland. However, he is looking to continue playing futsal during the winter break in his homeland.
I think I'm going back to play football with my team in Switzerland, but maybe in winter break. I think it's quite useful to play futsal to keep training and improve maybe your technique.
The Dragons have had a recent upturn in form in 2018, and William Heron is hopeful that the sport can grow across the UK, having previously not participated in futsal before going to the university.
I know much about futsal before I came here, so I think across England everyone should start playing it. Like this year we've more than doubled our numbers since last year, and we'll aim to do the same next year, so I think it'll keep growing.
Futsal will continue to grow as a sport, with more people being introduced to it every year, and Chris and his team will be looking to finish the season strongly to cap off an impressive campaign. This has been Jacob Potter reporting for Solent Sports News.
The sport of MMA, mixed martial arts, has grown in popularity over the past few years. It dominates social media, with UK fans staying up until 4 AM to watch two fighters battle it out in the octagon. But why would people choose to step into the ring and put themselves through such brutality? Don Punt went down to Pound for Pound training ground to meet an MMA hopeful.
Pound for Pound training ground is renowned for creating the South Coast's best mixed martial art and boxing competitors. This man is no exception. Currently a football studies student at Southampton Solent University, Ethan Spencer has high hopes of becoming an MMA star. The Ultimate Fighting Championship comes to London for the 5th consecutive year as it continues its rise to prominence around the world. Originally from Gloucestershire, Ethan has always been an athlete.
So I've roughly been doing martial arts for about a year. Did kickboxing from when I was about 14, did that for 2 years. Stopped because of GCSEs. I've always played sport my whole life, sort of been involved in football since I was about 6. Once I realised I wasn't going to be playing that to a decent level, I thought I'd try something else, so yeah, martial arts.
However, it was back in 2009 at UFC 98 when Ethan really found his love for mixed martial arts.
I tell you what, the first fight I ever watched, was Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, So that's what got me into it, and that sort of style of staying away, not getting hit. I enjoy that, I enjoy it. Obviously Conor McGregor now, he's a Matrix, so yeah, I suppose those two.
As well as the notorious Conor McGregor, UFC employs 19 fighters from within the UK, including former middleweight champion Michael Bisping, who holds the records for most wins in UFC history. Some do believe that cage fighting is barbaric, but Ethan was quick to shun those opinions.
Of course it is, but it's still a sport, do you know what I mean? It's still regulated. If you've got the right coach, they teach you the right things, the right technique, and obviously prevention, and every sport's dangerous to a certain degree.
The UFC is one of only a handful of promotions where fighters compete full-time. That being said, does he see himself becoming one of those few?
I'd like to wish I was good enough to do it, yeah, of course, and make money off it, but it's a very difficult industry, sport to get into, do you know what I mean? Unless you're top elite of the elite, then it's quite hard to make a living off it, but yeah, I'd love to do it, whether I do or not, wait and see. But.
So when will we be seeing Ethan step into the cage for the first time?
Got a plan in my head, hopefully I finish, obviously I'm in my third year of uni now, come out on my 2-1, and hopefully fight this time next year after my 21st birthday.
Make sure you keep an eye out for this young man as he looks to make a name for himself inside the world of combat sports.
Just do it. Just do it. If you want to do it, do it. Don't be scared.
That's all from us today, and thank you for joining us. You can keep up to date through Twitter at Solent Sports News and via our website www.solentjournalism.co.uk. Goodbye.